We live in times of incredible irony, especially in the United States, the once most strong advocate of capitalism, and in fact the birthplace of the free man to a large extent, has adopted socialism to the extent where it's almost unbelievable. The G7 conference, which is currently underway, has been in the forefront of Joe Biden's mind. And Joe Biden, along with some of his allies, backed up by Janet Yellen, believe it or not, wants to introduce a 15% minimum corporation tax which goes across the entire world. The idea of that is to stop large corporations having offshore companies and getting away with paying little corporation tax. The reality of it is it won't be a case of him realising his socialist dream and actually making sure that large corporations pay up. What it will do is kick their lawyers and accountants into action, because a lot of these very large companies such as Amazon and Facebook and Google, those are the ones he's got in his sights, have huge lawyers and they're very astute. They've already got structures all over the world, so there's no way they're going to tolerate being told what to do in other people's jurisdictions. The real losers here will be the smaller to medium-sized businesses, which won't be able to afford to restructure themselves and will get clobbered for a 15% corporation tax. Now obviously that doesn't sound like very much, but in reality it is. Take Cyprus, for example. Across the European Union, and in certain parts of the Asia-Pacific region and the CIS countries and Russia, Cyprus is a very popular jurisdiction for companies to establish themselves and have a European presence. Now, it's a small island, but it's very, very popular with large companies. It's got an international investor base. Corporation tax is only 5%. Very attractive indeed. If a lot of those companies were forced to pay 15%, they wouldn't see the point and they would move back to where they come from, which would restrict their potential audience. So really all this will do is create a situation where the small to medium-sized businesses might suffer, or they might disappear completely, or sort of disappear, and then reappear on the radar somewhere else in an offshore island such as St. Vincent or the Seychelles, where the United States government won't be able to touch them. Then simply employ sales teams elsewhere. Large companies like Google, Facebook and so forth, which are on the government's radar, they're too much involved with the government. The US government, the Chinese government, all the large influential states depend on those companies and vice versa. So Google in today's technocratic world pretty much is the government. Are they going to pay 15% corporation tax in various jurisdictions around the world? No way. So what you'll end up with is what we call corporate socialism. Big sector government and big sector massive corporations and not very much in between. Is that really the way that the markets should be run? No. Now the G7 summit has come to its head in that respect, and actually talks of this 15% potential global corporation tax are all over the news. Everyone is talking about it. It's quite clearly a hot topic, and therefore is likely to affect the markets. The question is, who's going to take action? Will companies relocate, or will Google, Amazon and Facebook just become even more close to the world's largest governments and act as a sort of shareholder-owned dictatorship? We'll see.